Greetings to my fellow peace blunderers, and today we're playing yet another 10-minute rapid game on my Smurf account with some of the moves that I'm not allowed to play. This time it appears that my G-Knight will not be able to move at any point in the game, which will be a total pain in the ass. Still, we'll try to find some workarounds and make this game as instructive as possible. And if you just so happen to find this video useful, please like and subscribe, follow my Twitch, chess.com, join the Discord, links in the description. Love you guys, let's go. Alright, we have a 1400 from Brazil. Okay, let's play e4. This game I have to be very aggressive. I have to be like hyper aggressive because I am not able to castle short, but that's not even the biggest thing. I'm basically playing down a piece because this knight is completely immobilized on g1. And that means I will have to castle long, most likely. And I'm playing against a Sicilian, which is, well, I'm going to do something that I wouldn't do normally. I am going to play the bad type of Smith-Morra. I'm going to, instead of playing c3 and play the normal Smith-Morra, I'm going to capture with the queen, which I do not recommend doing because knight c6 comes in and black is already equalized. But that will do me some good for my particular setup because I've already got my queen out. I need to get my knight and the bishop out to castle long and try to figure something out. And for that purpose, I'm going to move to a4, I think, first. Very Scandinavian style. I wouldn't want him to play a5 check and force the trade of queens, really, because, you know, I would be playing without queens down a piece factually, and that's not particularly great. He's going to think of the bishop. Now, that could be a problem. With this very powerful bishop looking over my queen side, this could be problematic, admittedly. But what can you do? Now, this pawn is being attacked, but it's defended. The thing that I'm slightly concerned about is something like knight d4, which is for the moment impossible, of course, because the square isn't any more protected by the bishop, but we'll have to watch out for these threats sooner rather than later, of course. Also, something like g4, knight g4 could be annoying. Whenever you castle long, it is very important to oversee f2 and f7. Whenever the knight can take on f2 or f7, usually it results in a fork hitting both your rooks on d1 and h1. So I need to look out for that. I need to look out for that, and I need to play something rather aggressive. And honestly, in this scenario, opposite side castling really benefits me, and yeah, because it provides a platform for an aggressive game. I'm going to play h4. I'm going to try and undermine this Fianchetto structure first and foremost. My knight will never ever move. That's why I'm not even thinking about, well, okay, now maybe I am thinking about moving this rook away. Interesting. So they're blocking with h5, which is rather understandable. I need to try and figure out a way to break through now with some other of my pieces. Let's play bishop e2, trying to prepare j4. I'm trying to basically explode everything. So they're defending g4 with d6. Interesting. Yeah, we are arriving at a very interesting position. I want to play bishop g5. Maybe I would like to remove this knight at some point in the game, but what's also a secondary goal of mine is to make this rook open so that it opposes the queen. Maybe I can at some point get away with some e5 thrusts, but not when the bishop is on d7, covering the queen, of course. This is getting more and more interesting. They're also trying to create maybe some discovered attacks, which I'm not sure if I'm scared of anything that any discovered attack can offer. But, you know, my queen isn't doing very well on a4 if I want to attack the king side. But this is where we need to calculate all of the possible discoveries. Do they mean anything for us? And I am not sure if they do. I am not sure what the damage can be. If knight e5, which seems the most logical, I can always put my queen here. And I don't see any immediate threats. So I'd like to keep my queen there, actually, I think, for the moment. And yeah, let's see. Let's play f3. I want to prepare g4. I want to strategy g4. I'm basically going all in, attacking on the king side. Let's see what that brings. Queen c7, interesting. So they probably do it with the means of getting rid of that potential pin and also making the queen oppose my king, which can be annoying at times for sure, admittedly. Interesting, interesting. Let's see, if I takes and then exploding with g4, does it give me anything? Does it give me any sort of attack? Or I need to prepare my attack even more? E5 doesn't seem like a good idea. F4 doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't want to activate this bishop. Okay, let's see if we can utilize the fact that the queen went to c7 and we can try to force this knight away from the f6 square. Obviously, I'm hitting both the knight and the queen. And yeah, the knight will most likely have to be captured. And I think I want to recapture which way? Which way am I going to capture? I'm going to recapture with a pawn. I'm going to recapture with the pawn. And yeah, the knight is predictably going to e4 now. I want to capture with a pawn because I want to open up this little rank for my queen. I want to make my queen more mobile. My queen is now threatened. Of course, I need to move it. And I think the most likely square is this one. Now the bishop here, and then my queen is attacked, and then c2 is attacked as well. I'm not a particularly big fan of that. Not a particularly big fan of that. I am going to refrain from that idea for the moment, I think. I'm going to... something I didn't consider in good time. Something that is slightly annoying. Let's move the queen to b4 instead. I want to still keep my queen here. I thought of moving it to b3 where it protects c2 a little bit, but on second thought, I'd like to keep my attacking chances alive. I think I'm still okay, at least for now, if I play c3 and they are going for the attack. They are going for the throat as well. And this is what you're getting. This is what you are getting with these sort of positions. Now, queen a4, bishop f5 doesn't look as scary because there's nothing to hit on c2. However, them controlling c2 and b1 as well with the bishop does sound like very annoying. Very annoying. But, you know, I've got to make certain concessions. Whoa, whoa. Bishop a4? Bishop a4 just hangs the bishop, doesn't it? Just hangs the bishop, doesn't it? I don't see anything arising from that. Nah, okay. That just makes my job a lot easier. Interesting. Yeah, bishop f5 was the far better move, I believe. Now in the absence of the bishop, we have some interesting things. What is that? What is happening? What is happening? They probably want to open up the bishop to hit here, but does that do anything after rook takes d3 and now c3 is protected additionally? I think something went wrong here. Yeah, I think the opponent just goes all in. and they don't probably realize that this is game over. Yeah, there is nothing to do anymore. There is nothing to do anymore in this position, I'm afraid. Yeah, this is the only remaining threat. There are a couple of ways of repelling it. The most sensible would be bishop d1. Of course, my queen is also covering c2, but I want to make sure that nothing goes wrong on that side. And as soon as the rook left 8th rank, I can start going for some mating ideas, mating threats. And I think we're good to go after bishop to h8. This is going to be mate. This check doesn't scare me because I can just capture this rook. And yeah, resigns. Woof. Okay, we got out of jail there. For sure. Okay, it was an interesting game. It was an interesting game. I was definitely under serious pressure up until the point where the opponent blundered the bishop. Okay, now let's take a look at some key takeaways. So first of all, in this position, I was slightly concerned by queen a5 check because it would hit my queen and the king at the same time. basically forcing the trade of queen. I'm virtually playing a piece down without being able to move my knight on g1, so I don't want to trade queen. That's why I'm playing knight c3, which, let's face it, doesn't only prevent queen a5 check, but is also a basic sensible move. I want to castle queenside anyway. Here, after my opponent castle kingside, I'm going for the immediate h4 for two reasons. It may not be the most accurate move, but with the opposite side castling, the game almost always ends up being about who mates whom first. So I'm not delaying my strike, especially considering that my opponent has the fianchetto structure, and as you should know, h4 is one of the better moves to play against the fianchetto. With bishop g5, I considered removing the knight on f6, and although it did not happen in this particular game, sometimes it can be a very good idea. Yes, we are exchanging a bishop for a knight, which isn't always optimal, but this way we would remove the key defender of black's position and at some point enable g4. In this position, after my opponent blundered the bishop on a4, yes, it is a very annoying mistake, but it can happen to anyone. I would strongly recommend to just keep your cool and keep playing the game as you would if you hadn't blundered. Mindlessly throwing even more pieces into the fray like knight d3 check and then bishop takes c3 is way too reckless. But overall, up until that blunder, I think my opponent played a very sensible and good game, and I want to give him credit. And again, this game goes to show that even at 1400 and higher, people still blunder pieces. So yeah guys, work on your calculations, your rating will increase massively as soon as you stop blundering pieces like that. And of course, my own game is far from perfect, I'm not a GM, I made some inaccuracies, mistakes and blunders for sure, but that hopefully should not be taking away from the instructiveness of this game. Let me know in the comments which 3 moves you want to ban for my next attempt. The most liked comment will feature in the next video. And that is going to be it, my favorite unintentional gambiteers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to like and subscribe, and as per usual, may all your chess moves on the board be exclam moves, and have an excellent day. Love you guys, see you in the next one.